Welcome along to episode 776 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, we'll be hearing from Glyn Marston all about the latest of his fundraising exploits that's due to take place later on this year. Connor Emms is along to let us know all about Rock For Spon 12, which is taking place this weekend at the Robin in Bilston. We catch up with former Love Island star Sophie Piper as we find out how she swapped Love Island for a cruise with MSC. Tom Skinner will be along to let us know how we can avoid dinner time disasters by maybe popping an egg into boil. The British Limemark Eggs team letting us know about the great things we can do there. Fabio D'Andrea joins us to talk about his brilliant 24 pieces of music, one for each of the major and minor keys. Plus, we'll be hearing about the service station of the future from the team at Roadchef. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
We are literally days away from Rock For Spon 12. Connor Emms is here to tell me more about what will be an amazing event paying tribute to an amazing fella. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, mate, and thanks for the opportunity to give the event a bit of a push.
Well,
So it's very kind of you.
it's always good to catch up with you, and in particular, I know that Spon is still hugely missed, and I can't believe this is volume 12. I mean, I think we
Yeah,
spoke, and you came into the studios to talk about the first one with Graham back in the day, and
yeah.
I mean, we're now what more than a decade later, and yeah, some amazing music paying tribute, as I say, to someone who is sorely missed.
It is indeed, mate. I mean, the artwork this year, which is this poster here, which is based upon the Black Sabbath Volume 4 album cover. Spawn was a massive Black Sabbath fan. So we try and incorporate some of the artwork to do with the stuff that he loved as well, you know. People involved this year, we've got the FRN DJs, which they run out their annual nights in Cannock, play all the classic rock, you know, the great classic rock tunes. Opening up is acoustic set from Scott Paul Griffiths, a good friend of mine, really good lad. And we got a tribute to Motorhead, which is Motorkill. That these lads are ace, and Spawn was a big Motorhead fan, so we felt like we'd have these on this, you know, this year. Special guest this year is a bunch of friends of ours called Waking the Angels, who are doing really well within the melodic rock scene. And then once again ourselves, New Saints, which was obviously Spawn's band.
Hmm. So, remind us all about Spon and how this is a fundraising event doing great things in his name.
Yeah, well, Spawn, Andy Spencer, he was my cousin, and also he was the bass player in the band. He always used to fetch and carry for everybody else rather than being a band himself. He was always a bit of a frustrated musician. And when myself and Des, the drummer in New Saints, we kind of done this like years ago in different guises, various different bands, and we've had little record deals, we've played and toured and all that. We kind of like shelved everything for a while, and then Andy Spon got into a little 8-track recorder, and he says, "Will you come and do some stuff with me?" And I said, "Yeah, of course, all mate, no problem." Which we did, and that's how the New Saints was born, or New Saints rather. And we was just goofing about on an 8-track. We did a few songs, and then we played it to Des, and just said, "Look, do you want to be involved in this? We're going to have some fun. We're going to enjoy ourselves. Not too much pressure." Which obviously Des was involved. We've had a few different guitarists over time. So once we got the band up and running as New Saints, we just want to have some fun and go out and just really enjoy ourselves, and playing the music that we were playing ourselves. Andy was poorly. He got struck down with esophageal cancer. So the news was obviously a bolt out the blue to everybody. He was told he had a certain amount of time left, which he exceeded. He went over that. You know, they said, like, you know, Andy, probably, you know, you're looking at 6 months. He ended up like fighting it as much as he could for 2 years, and still managing to play in the band, still be productive. The band was everything to him. So the stuff that we recorded, we ensured that we got it out on an album, which we did. And that kicked about iTunes for a bit. You can still grab hard copies from our shows and that. So that's the story of how it become. Mike Hamblett at the time was the owner of the Robin, and he said, "Would you want to do a charity night for him?" I said, "We'd love nothing more." First one, you couldn't move in there. It was ridiculous. It was fantastic. Every year, it's grown and grown and grown. We've had numerous artists on over the last 12 years. Some have gone on to do really good things and getting signed major record deals. And this year we're doing it once again, May the 11th at the Robin Bilston. And the money will go to Compton Care once again.
So excellent cause, amazing music, and memories which you're going to bring to life. And I'm sure tell a few stories at the same time as listening to some great tracks, and basically bringing everyone together for an amazing night of music. So the all-important question, how do people get tickets and how do they get along? What times it all start?
Right, okay, mate. So the doors will be on the night, 6:30 doors. Scott will be kicking things off at 7 o'clock. You can grab tickets from the Robin itself for £10. You can pay on the night, which is £12. You're giving a little bit more back to charity. So a lot of people tend to do that. We tend to get a number of walk-ups on the night rather than people are buying advance tickets. But you can, but if you want to give a little bit more, you're more than welcome to, just to rock up on the night and pay on the door. It all goes to charity. We have to pay a small room hire fee, which obviously is expected in this day and age. It's not easy for everybody to do everything for free. So we do have to pay a little fee up front before we, start raising money, so to speak.
Therobin.co.uk is where you can get your tickets online. You can call the box office on 01902 4012 11, so 40 12 11, and get along and say just turn up Mount Pleasant, Bilston. Say 6:30 doors for a 7 o'clock start, and it's going to go on till quite late, isn't it? It'll
go on until we kind of until the venue want to get rid of us. We tend not to try and go on too late as the last band. We try and get things. The last band of the night will probably rock on about 10 o'clock-ish, something like that. And then we've still got the DJs. It's a gathering, mate. It's where people, if the rock music's not your thing, it's still a great way of people linking up together. Old school pals of Spons, family and friends. We get, even my folks come. My folks, dare I say, not the biggest heavy rock fans, hard rock fans in the world, but they'll be there because they support. They know what it means to everybody involved, and obviously, we do get those kind of people there as well. We get people there who are just there for the bands. The band New Saints as it is now, we've started to move on a little bit. Obviously, it took us a long time, mate. It took us a long time. So we're back recording again now. So there's new stuff out. We're playing regular. We was at KK's just the other week into KK's Steel Mill. Fantastic night. So the band's pushing on. The event is continuing to exist. Mm-hmm. It does get hard, I would say it does get harder every year, but there's always something else going on in the area that's going to affect your attendance. But that's life. There's always something else going on. You can't expect the world to stop for your charity event, But, so we're looking forward to hopefully raising as much as we can. Again, for Compton Care in Spon's name, but it's for everybody. It's for everybody that we've loved and lost, and it's a gathering of people that love rock music, which obviously Spon did, and also, just a real good get together for people just to have a great night.
Mm-hmm. And say raising funds for Compton Care. It is Rock For Spon V.12, Saturday the 11th of May. Turn up on the night. If you're not sure what you're doing and you suddenly realize, I have no plans, go for it. It is the place to be. If you want to book in advance, once again, therobin.co.uk, or you can give the box office a call on 01902 401211 and catch up with the team down there. Connor Emms, the man behind Rock For Spon, thank you for joining us. I know there's a load of the team working with you. I'm not just saying it's only you, but you're there doing it as the rest of the gang are working with you. It's a huge event for all exactly the right reasons. And I wish you a good night and one which will bring you what you need as ever.
Yeah, and thanks again for having me on, mate. I really appreciate it. From all the boys, everybody involved in Rock For Spon. Cheers, mate, and I'll take care.
It is time to start thinking about our holidays, those essential getaways for a brilliant summer and beyond. Now, when it comes to traveling and doing some of the thrill-seeking experiences that many people know and love, it's actually maybe time to think a little bit different and outside the box. To tell us more about some great ways we can have a wonderful holiday experience this year, I'm joined now by somebody who enjoyed their time on an island not too long ago. Season 6 Love Island contestant Sophie Piper. How you doing?
I'm all good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And there's nothing like an all expenses paid holiday with a bit of love interest along the way. So you've had a great time doing that, but now you're back in the real world and looking at maybe something a bit different.
Yes, well, I was just on board the MSC cruise, which was obviously completely different to a normal holiday. And yeah, I just wanted to show my followers the different side of maybe doing a holiday like this. Yeah, it was amazing. So much to do, so many different places to see, and yeah, definitely more cultural than what
Mhm.
I was used to.
Yeah, because it is about the experience, isn't it? Because
Mm.
not only the different places to go and visit, and basically having a hotel that floats, a brilliant way of going to see lots of different
Yeah.
fantastic locations, but also the dining experiences you get as well.
I know there was 13 restaurants on board, I believe. There's lots of different bars. There was also an exclusive place called MSC Yacht Club, which was nice because it was like away from like the rest of the ship, and there was more things to do on there as well. So yeah, I mean, so many different places to try, food wise and drinks wise. I just couldn't believe how much there was on this cruise. Like so much to do. It's crazy.
And sometimes when you think of cruises, you may be either thinking of older people or families who have decided to go somewhere together. It's also great for even solo travelers too, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. There was actually I met a few solo travelers that was on board. But yeah, even it's just a nice way to meet people as well. 100%.
So you're carrying on Love Island on your own cruise ship island.
I am, but minus the love.
It's the experience of it, and how did you find it as somewhere different? Because I mean, your own cabin compared to maybe a hotel room, you got everything you needed there.
Yeah, my cabin was huge. It was actually I was surprised at how big it was. Because normally you'd think it's gonna be a small cabin like on the cruises, but no, mine was big. And because I was part of the MSC Yacht Club, we actually had our own butler as well, which he was the nicest person. I was sad to leave him. But yeah, them little things of having someone like attend to you, it's just part of the experience and it was amazing. Yeah.
So much more mind, body, and soul rather than just going out on the lash.
Yeah, I know. I mean, especially when you got off the cruise and you done the excursions, that was definitely more like you said, more of a mindful and wholesome experience rather than just getting drunk all day.
But still the chance to enjoy a tipple as well, which is the good thing. And you could say the experience there as well. The sort of cocktail bars you'll find at one of these amazing traveling hotels is just brilliant, isn't it?
I know. I think I definitely still sampled quite a lot of the cocktails that were on the menu, so it was nice to do that side of it as well.
And when it comes down to say age ranges, do you see many people who are in the same sort of age bracket as you?
Yeah, I mean, there was obviously families there, there was older groups of people, and there was a couple of people definitely my age, but I think it would be nice to obviously reach it out to more people my age. So
Mm.
because I feel like they've got a perception of it being like boring and like, it's just not a current thing, but I need to push it out there that it is 100%.
Yeah, certainly not a stuffy holiday. And still the chance to do some of the thrill-seeking experiences you might do when you go other places too. Because when you stop off in port, it's not only a tour of a local vineyard that might be an option, but also maybe something in the world of extreme sports too.
Yeah, 100%. I think my favorite excursion was definitely when we was in Naples. We went to Pompeii. It was nice to see all the ruins there, learn about the history, just something that you wouldn't do day to day, to be honest.
But lots of great things to try and experience in many different ways. And say it's about waking up in a different destination every day. That is just another thrill, plus entertainment on board for the evenings.
Yeah, we visited 6 places in 7 days. So it was obviously good to get all them places packed in, along with obviously having that time in the day to explore these places, getting on the ship in the evening, having the evening entertainment. Yeah, it was all very fun filled.
And of course, compared to when we saw you on TV taking a break, your own privacy, you could be on your own when you wanted to be on your own.
Exactly. A difference for sure.
But I mean, was it a spa experience as well for you too? Did you maybe go for a bit of relaxation on board?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean when there's so much to do on board. I had a nice little full body massage, got my hair done, had a bouncy blow dry. So, yeah, I mean, it was nice to have a chilled aspect as well.
Well, it'd be great to see what you got up to. Where can people find what you've been sharing online and also find out more about MSC Cruises?
So my channels on Instagram and TikTok are Sophie Piper _, where I'll be posting more about the cruise, and msccruises.co.uk. You can find out more about the actual cruise and the upcoming cruises.
Yeah, and a chance to maybe cruise around Europe and further afield. And did you sail from the UK shores, or did you fly to your pickup destination?
No, but we actually, yeah, well, we flew from Barcelona,
Hmm.
so it was London to Barcelona, and got on the cruise there.
So that just extends a holiday a little bit more as well, doesn't it?
I know you still have that excitement of getting on a plane.
All sounds good to me. Well, looking forward to finding out more about your experience on board and wishing you all the best for your next holiday. And I think you're going to be back aboard one of these fantastic cruises, aren't you?
100%. I need to go to the Caribbean next time for sure.
Okay, well, you've checked the brochures, you know what you're doing. It sounds like it's going to be brilliant fun. Sophie Piper, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, Glyn Marston, amazing charity runner, done so much for so many good causes over the years, has, I think, worn out his knees. However, he's not letting that stop him when it comes to raising funds, because he's got a bit of a water-based activity planned. He joins me now to tell me more. Hello, sir.
How are you?
I'm
Fine.
good. How are we
But
finding
yeah, I
you?
am. Oh, not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. Yeah, you just hit on the fact that I used to be a very long distance runner, and I wore my knee out. For a while, I started cycling, and of course, I was having knee problems with that.
Hmm.
And I I indulged in stand-up paddleboarding for a while, and
Okay.
from that, yeah, I think I was 5 years old at
Oh,
the time when I decided to try stand-up paddleboarding of Alpermota.
how old were you again?
Well, I'm 61 now. I'll be 62 at the end of the year.
How old were you when you
Um,
started doing it?
Stand-up paddleboarding,
Yeah.
55 years old, which it was really weird because you got all these young people dashing around on stand-up paddleboards in the water, and I was the oldest one there, sort of thing. I couldn't compete with them. I think that's why, and that's why I found the love of open water swimming, because I couldn't compete with these young ones. They knew all tricks to do on the board and everything, and I couldn't do that.
Well, you've
So
still got a good
yeah,
head of
from
hair,
that,
so when you're swimming, they've no idea how old you are.
actually, when my hair's wet, you can't see the grey. But yeah, well, it was. I fell off the board. I fell off my paddleboard, and it gave me a little bit of a fear of open water.
Hmm.
So to get my confidence back, I went to an introduction class to learn how to swim in open water, and I loved it that much. I've not been on my board, over 2 years now, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it really good.
So now, to raise funds, you're doing a bit of an Alcatraz swimming challenge, and I take it this
Yeah.
means you're going to be doing your best to escape from Alcatraz via the water.
Well, how that came about, I was in training to be part of the relay swim,
Hmm.
to swim the English Channel, 6 of us, for Men Cup. I got a chest infection. It landed me in hospital. It's that bad, my chest infection. And my story was out there with all the swimming community. That what a shame. This wonderful man, Glyn Marston, he's had his dream snatched away from him. So someone contacted me and said, "Look, we'll give you an invitation to swim Alcatraz to San Francisco." date to be confirmed. And I'm like, yeah, definite. I'll do that. No problem.
Well, yeah, a little trip out to California, go for a bit of a swim, raise some funds for charity. Jobs are good. And so, who are you raising funds for?
I'm part of Mencap Marvels, which is
Mhm.
obviously Mencap charity. They help people think they just help like mentally challenged people, but they also help people who are struggling with, if they're having a breakdown and they're struggling with their own personal mental issues.
Mhm.
They're there for everyone. So yeah, I'll give you my support to those.
And how do people sponsor you for this event then? And when is it?
It's any time. Well, as I say, date to be confirmed, but it'd be any time between September of this year and June of next year, depending on um depending on when the organisers can get it organised. But if anyone wanted to sponsor me, I've got a Just Giving page, which is www.justgiving.com/fundraising/ Glyn Marvel Marston.
Okay,
That's a
Glyn
bit,
hyphen
that's a bit
Marvel hyphen
long.
Marston. That's the way to do it. Marston.
Yeah, it's Marston Marston. Glyn with one N. Some people spell it with two. It's one N.
Definitely, you're a one N kind of guy. So
I'm
get
one N man.
so get yourself sorted. Get him sponsored, and the more people sponsor him, the more he can't get out of it. Then, not that he would, because I know what he's like.
That's it.
He
I've
like
got to do it.
you love doing these crazy things. But I mean, good luck with it, mate. Have a great time with that. Keep up the good work. Fingers crossed it's nice and soon and the water's warm when you're out there. And you can do,
Thank you.
as ever, some brilliant stuff raising funds for charity, in this case, Burncap. Thanks again, Glyn Marston.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Now, Fabio D'Andrea has some amazing music out there already, with even more on the way. 24, as I think, going to go down in history as an absolute masterpiece, with videos and music coming together and showing off all the talents of the man who joins me now. Hello, sir.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, good to talk to you. And having already had a little listen to In the Clouds, the single release, which is sort of preempting the album release later this year, 24 tracks is an amazing body of work to put onto one compilation in itself, let alone with all the video production and the amazing cast you've got that runs alongside it.
Oh no, it is. It's been a really fun journey putting it together. Quite a lengthy one as well. Surprisingly, it's actually been taking longer to put the videos together than the actual music, but it's just been quite a fun adventure, really, just being able to explore different themes, different sounds, and then yeah, just creating something really different, really.
Yeah, well, when you're a composer, a performer, a director, you probably are not unknown at picking up a camera yourself and actually doing a lot of the filming too, knowing you, because you want it how you want it. And I think this is sort of coming together in one huge project here, the likes of which we've never really seen before, have we?
No, not at all. I mean, when I first wrote these 24 pieces, I wanted to continue this tradition of writing 24 pieces in every key for the piano, which is something that composers have done for many hundreds of years now, right from Bach through to Rachmaninoff and lots of others. But I thought, how can I make this a bit of a 21st century album as opposed to something which is just steeped in pure tradition? So that's why I came up with making it a video album, and it's also allowed me to indulge my other passion, which is filmmaking. So it's been a nice idea, which has been an amalgamation of the two, music and film.
Well, each of these pieces as well focuses on a different thing, very often looking at a social issue, telling a story in some way. I mean, the amazing dancing that we see in Into the Clouds, absolutely phenomenal. And someone who's the child of two rather famous, bringing that work to life.
Yeah, well, for Into the Clouds, I asked Renee Stewart, whose father is Rod Stewart, to be in this video. But Renee is actually just an incredible dancer. She trained at the London Contemporary Dance School, and she studied under one of my friends, Dane Hurst, who was a former principal at Ramba, a dance company, and he's a musical director, choreographer at the leads the Phoenix Dance Company in Leeds now. So Dane asked me to go to Saddle as well to see a performance of his, and Renee was dancing there. And I asked him afterwards, "Oh, who's that amazing dancer?" And then he told me and introduced me. So yeah, it was really lovely to get her on board because she's so talented.
Absolutely, and that comes across in the video, which people can see now. But the whole team behind all of this is phenomenal. The names you have in here alongside Renee, I mean, the likes of Russell Tovey, Peter Andre, Mel B. This continues. And I say, obviously, there's more than 24 people involved because there's 24 projects.
Yeah. Um, well, if I let you into a secret, I've still got to complete some of the videos, so they're not all finished. But no, I've been really fortunate that we've had a really great. Well, I've just been supported by some great actors and well-known personalities who've wanted to star in the videos, which has been wonderful. And actually, as you mentioned, some of the videos are about social issues, and that's been great because my music is instrumental and it doesn't have words. It means that I can set my videos to anything thematically that I want to. So it's allowed me to talk about subjects which I think we should talk about, and subjects which are universal, again, because there's no lyrics to my music. Mm-hmm. I wanted to choose topics which can apply to anybody wherever they're from in the world.
Mm-hmm. But your music itself does still seem to tell a story, and it follows the tale that you're telling on screen as well. So that certainly doesn't take away from the fact that there's not lyrics, no, but there is still beautiful storytelling. Your piano playing, absolutely amazing. You're making classical music so much more accessible to more and more people and drawing them in through the tales that are on screen. So this is something bigger than it might first seem to many.
Yeah, no, definitely. And thank you for those lovely comments. I guess first and foremost, the music comes first. So all the videos are actually cut and edited to the music. So which is how it should be for a music video. But because I'm sort of crossing a few boundaries and styles, and some of the videos really do feel like short films. I think people sort of think that I've put the music to the film afterwards, and they're a bit surprised to hear that's actually the other way around, that it's the music that comes first and foremost.
But I should think, though, that you must have a vision of what you want to create in some ways. Yes, you've already said that you can choose a subject to go with the song, but it's not, that can't be every time. Sometimes you must be thinking of an image that you want to portray, and because it's been inspired by the music you've just written, the two then run hand in hand and in parallel.
Yeah, very much so. So as I mentioned, I composed all the music festival and recorded it all. So the whole album's been recorded. And I've actually while I've been composing the pieces, I haven't thought about what I would do in terms of the video for them. The video ideas always come afterwards. But because I think every musical key has its own feel. And that's what's nice about this being a piano album. You actually just hear the different keys alone and on the same instrument, but they really do have a different feel. And so each key, I've just sort of sat with it and thought, what does this remind me of? What would actually work with this? What would work with this piece of music? So it's all sort of stemmed from that, really. But as you say, yeah, I've sort of sat with it and thought, what would work? How does this piece feel? What are the emotions here? And just let the story sort of grow from that.
And when it comes to the piano that you're playing on as well, same one throughout. I mean, what is your piano?
Yeah, it's a Yamaha. It's a very lovely Yamaha. I record it all at my own studio. So I'm sort of a one-man job, really. I am the performer, sound engineer, editor, and then with the videos, I'm the director, producer, and editor there as well. So it's quite. It feels like a one-man band.
Well, but I mean, this is a project which is spanning 2 years as well, though, because we won't see the final videos until Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and to be honest, they might even come after that as well. So we might pace them out a little bit more. And to be honest, this is actually quite a large project. It's taken a lot longer than 2 years. I did film quite a few of them before the pandemic as well. So I've had this in my mind for a while. I only started to release during the pandemic, and that's when sort of everything came together. I actually finished the last piece from the album earlier this year. I kept writing some and changing them again. So, I've had a lot of revisions, I guess.
But with the scale of this, working through major and minor keys, I mean, does some work here feel more like a fugue than a celebration?
No, definitely a celebration. When I write piano pieces, I always start by improvising on the piano. So all of these are sort of birthed out of some form of improvisation, and I usually get lost in my own little world while I'm making them. So it definitely does feel like more of a celebration.
And finally, where do we find these amazing pieces of music for people to go out there and start to indulge? I think is probably the best way of describing it.
Sure. Well, they're up online, but the best place to go is actually to my YouTube channel. So you can type in my name, Fabio D'Andrea, D apostrophe and an Andrea, and you'll find my channel and some of the videos there. And I will be releasing all the music videos up onto that channel. So that's the first place for everybody to watch them. So that's what I'd suggest everybody goes. Yeah.
So enjoy the music, marvel at the imagery that goes with it, immerse yourself in a whole piano-based world, and just know that whilst you listen to this, you're sneakily working your way through 24 different major and minor chromatic keys. And whether that means something to you because you're musical, or whether it doesn't, you just sort of listening and taking the whole scene in. Make the most of it and really enjoy this project. I mean, there's an awful lot more of your work out there as well, isn't there? So people can get all the back catalogue via your website too.
Totally. Yeah. They can go there again on YouTube. There's a lot of other videos that I've made for other EPs and other albums too. So yeah,
FabioD'Andrea.com. You can go and get everything you could need there. If the t-shirts as well. Can we get merch? Is that a thing? Yes, or is that something still to come?
Maybe still to come for the t-shirts, but one day soon, hopefully.
Well, Fabio D'Andrea, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the music, and people can keep going back and exploring more of your world as it emerges online. Thanks again.
Well, thank you so much.
Now, when it comes to the breaks in our journeys up and down the motorways of the UK, the service station is that little oasis of a fabulous food and also somewhere to get the kids to run around a bit so they calm down when they get back in the vehicle. Somebody who joins me now from a service station and playing towards the future of these wonderful places to stop is a Director of Product Delivery for Roadchef, Dan Sutton. Hello, sir.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
I'm good, and I hope we find you well. And I take you just been for a Roadchef coffee.
I have. I'm parked up at Clackett Lane services today, although I spend most of my time in this car travelling up and down the motorways. But yeah, it's nice to have the sun shining and be on the roads.
It is, and as we head through summer, obviously we'll be thinking of planning journeys, and journey planning is something which is even more stressful, it seems, than in the past. Because if anyone's got an electric vehicle, they know they'll be looking for charging points too, and this is again where the services come in, not only for liquid fuel.
Yeah, I'm sat in my electric vehicle. I've converted relatively recently this year and loving it. I mean, we know as service station operators we have a critical role to play in allowing motorists the ability to plan their journeys and to charge out of home for those who are either on long journeys or those who don't have charging facilities at home. So yeah, we know our role in the electrification of the highway is critical.
And even more so when the thought of having a play park on site, which can use kinetic energy from the kids to turn into electricity, so your kids could be charging the car.
Yeah, so you're referring to some work that the students at the University of Bristol have recently carried out on the service area of the future. Really, really interesting work. Renewable energy was one of the big pieces of that. And whilst at the moment we're talking about solar and wind energy as a an available source of renewable energy, the students were really interested in how we could use the motion of either vehicles or people to generate electricity. So one of their brilliant ideas was to, as technology becomes available to harness this in a more effective way, create play parks that the motion of the roundabouts, the motion of the swings, the motion of the play equipment generated electricity, which could then be stored and used for either our normal operations in our service areas, our kitchens, our lighting, our whatever else it might be, or to power electric vehicles. A really interesting thought.
Yeah, because the service stations we have now were first of all thought of way back in the 50s, 60s when the motorway network was first being born. And they've sort of changed and developed over the years. And with Roadchef sites which have opened in more recent memory, they've already taken on a lot of the mod cons and more advanced ways of enjoying yourself. No one ever thought there would be a phone shop alongside the stores and when they first opened these places. But it is part of our day-to-day life, isn't it?
It is, and you're right. The oldest motorway service area in the country at Watford Gap was built in the 1950s. We're incredibly proud to operate that, an iconic part of the motorway. But clearly, the needs of motorists have changed since then, and will certainly be changing into the future. So, customer experience is absolutely critical to us. We're always looking at ways to improve the service we can offer for the needs of today, but also the needs of tomorrow. So, the work at the University of Bristol and the partnership we've got with them in their innovation department has been to look at what those needs and wants are going to be in the future. And that was a really interesting part of the work that they did to try and forecast trends and technology and how things will evolve between now and the next 40, 50 years. But then also propose solutions to those needs and wants, those challenges that are going to come up. And the playground idea was one of them, using gyms in a similar way, but even thinking about things like turnstile turbines. We're all kind of used to using turnstiles in some venues, but why could we not use the power of people to push through turnstiles as they enter the buildings, or maybe even use the kinetic energy of cars going through, going over pads, or other ways that we can generate renewable electricity.
So lots of great ideas. And I mean, I suppose when the first services opened at Watford Gap, they were probably thinking by now it'd been flying cars. So who knows where the next 50, 60, 70 years may take us. So it is time to look forward. But the exciting part is there's a bit of a 3D walkthrough that you've got with these ideas too.
There is, yeah. I mean, the work has been relatively conceptual at the moment, but it's about distilling some of those things into what we can do today. As you say, we've created the walkthrough of Watford Gap and how that may look in the future. But we're constantly developing the offer that we have. We invest on an annual basis in a variety of things. At the moment, a lot of our investment strategy is into electric vehicle charging, and where we've got the ability to put additional chargers in, it's not easy to get electricity to our sites. A lot of them are rural and require quite a lot of support from stakeholders. But that's been a big focus of ours, as well as the rest of the facilities that people know and love in terms of toilets and catering and retail offers. But as we look to build new sites, and we have a couple in the pipeline, there are opportunities to do things in different ways as that technology becomes more viable commercially. So watch this space. It could get quite interesting.
Yeah, and certainly whenever you see any of the signs of the motorway services, it's always a wonderful respite away from the driving. It's always important to make sure that we don't drive tired. And again, the service stations are a great way of perking yourself up a bit before you continue your journey. And people I know will be using them there for their bio breaks, as well as more refreshing times too. So there's lots out there. Where do people find out more about the walkthrough and the work that you're doing towards the service station of the future?
So we'll be posting that on our website, roadchef.com. We'll put it over our social channels as well. So please visit Facebook or Twitter, and you'll be able to see those.
And of course, pop in and enjoy a cuppa whenever you're next passing the Roadchef sign.
Absolutely, we would always encourage people to pull in, have a little stretch of the legs, have a rest, a refuel, whether that be physically, mentally, emotionally. Get the kids to stretch their legs in the summer, we will always be there for you.
Yeah, maybe choose the partner that gets to look after the kids for a bit, so you get a bit of a break, and that's take it in turns. That sounds like a great way of doing it, and no doubt there'll be a tasty snack to be had whilst you're sorting all of that out too. It sounds good to me. Well, Director of Project Delivery at Roadchef, Dan Sutton, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thanks.
New data has shown there's some massive tea time mishaps. However, you can't go wrong with an egg. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Tom Skinner, Apprentice star, TV personality, and father of three. Hello to you, sir. How you doing?
I'm very well. How are you today?
Oh, all coping, which is good, but coping at tea time can be tricky.
Yeah, I mean, look, British Lion Eggs, they put them lovely stamps on our eggs. Have done a little bit of research, right? And they've found out that nearly a third of parents are getting stressed at tea time with their children. There's been new data that they're literally repeating the same meals over and over again. And they're tending to go to like the frozen counter, chicken nuggets, pizzas. And 1 in 5 parents have now just given up cooking their kids' dinner altogether. Now, I love me cooking. I love cooking with me kids. And what I found is that I'm using eggs all the time, not just for breakfast, but for dinner as well. I mean, one of my favourite things to do, Jason, is toading the old my little boss. Get up on the counter, he cracks the egg, pours in the milk, does the flour, mixes it all together. And he's part of the mealtime as well. And it sort of makes it a little bit easier for everyone to get involved.
Yeah, and another good one, of course, is eggy bread, and the joys of that for dessert is just fantastic, and it's how versatile these things can be.
Yeah, I mean, look, eggs are so nutritious. They're really affordable, and you can do omelets, fritters, fried eggs. There's so many things you can make. I mean, one of my favorites is tuna and boiled egg pasta. Sounds disgusting, but it is amazing, and it takes seconds to make. Literally, boil up some pasta, open up a tin of tuna, and boil an egg. Job done.
Yeah, because I mean, it is interesting getting the egg into the right condition. Say, because it may seem slightly wrong, but actually, it can just be so right and a great source of protein. And if you're not sure about your egg whites, scramble your eggs and see where you go from there.
Easy peasy, isn't it? Who can't do? That's the thing as well. We worry so much about burning our food. It's very hard to burn a boiled egg. You literally put it in boiling water for a few minutes, and it's that easy,
But are you somebody who likes to have their egg fully boiled solid all the way through, or do you like dipping your soldiers in it?
No, it's all about the soldiers for me. I love a little runny egg. Do you know what I mean? It's just makes it a little bit more fun. I like my fried eggs a little bit runny. I like my poached eggs a little bit runny, but I'm a runny egg sort of guy.
But do you like the excitement when you've got a fried egg on a sandwich and then you bite into it and the egg goes everywhere? I think that's part of the joy of having a sausage, bacon, and egg sandwich.
Mate, that is so exciting when that happens. Honestly, I love it.
I mean, how do your kids feel about this as well? Because eggs are something which they're not really divisive, but it's having the ideas.
Yeah, I mean, my baby girls, my twin girls, literally one of their go-to meals is avocados and eggs. It's nutritious. It's got all the right proteins. It's got all the right vitamins. It's nice and soft, good on their gums, easy for them to eat, and it's just easy. It's easy for them as well. And I mean, there's so many different dishes you can do. I mean, it's just simple food. Like we think about, home cooking takes lots of time. It don't. It's simple. It's easy.
And in fact, a friend of mine, absolutely, when he was a kid, it would be egg curry. So you've got a curry. What you want to put some protein into it? Sneak in an egg.
Easy peasy. A lot cheaper than meat, I suppose, isn't it?
It's all good fun, something to try. And say we're looking for that British Lion mark to know we're getting quality eggs when we're buying them.
That's it. That's it.
Where do we go for some more recipe tips and ideas, apart from following you on TikTok, because you're bound to be sharing on there?
Get yourself on Instagram, because I love a bit of cooking, especially with my little boy that's always on there. And obviously, the British Lion Eggs website has got loads of brilliant recipes involving eggs for you to try.
Okay, so lots of great ideas. The chance to have something different. But don't be scared from going traditional and going for a boiled egg.
100% agree there. It's nice and easy.
Simple as that. Tom Skinner, apprentice star, TV personality, father of 3 and fan of the egg. Thank you for joining us.
Cheers, mate.
That's a lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me back with episode 777 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.